picture of Wildwood. I want to start out with this because Wildwood has transformed tremendously over the past 100 years, particularly in the past. Thank you. Particularly in the past about 10 years. So this is Wildwood initially started out as Ebenezer Barwick was the founder. He moved out from Georgia in about 1870 and wanted to relocate a lumber yard that he had in Georgia to Wildwood so he could continue his business further. So from speaking with the locals, the name Wildwood derives from it being in such a remote location in the woods. So they call it Wildwood.
We're having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. Could you speak into the microphone?
Yeah, sure. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that one you have to be very close to it.
All right, so here's a snapshot, really quickly, some stats about Wildwood.
There you go.
Okay. Currently, we are 44.15 square miles, and in 2010, Wildwood total square miles was 41.95, and the total acreage was 26,853. In just 10 years, there's been an increase of 1,402 acres. Now, currently, right now, we have a pending annexation of over 8,000 acres by the villages. So once pending commission approval, that will bring it up to 57.20 square miles. Total population per beaver was 12,665. This year's April 2019 count that came out by beaver. 2010 Wildwood population was 6,709, and again in just 10 years, there's been a 5,956 person increase in our population, and it's projected to continue to grow at an even rapid pace, and that population projections are just skyrocketing. So this is a little outdated. The number of households, it might be a little bit more. It might be. It is a little bit more than this. This was based off of the 2010 census. I looked up American Community Survey and couldn't find an accurate number because the villages are building so rapidly that ACS is not able to get an accurate count as of yet. It also says the average household income is $39,000. I believe it's a little bit higher than that right now. So these are the maps that I was trying to find a good one to kind of depict then and now, 2015 versus 2019, because this is the era of exponential growth for Sumter County and the city of Wildwood. So I'm going to try to explain this. I know that this kind of may not be the best map because this is an older one when GIS was still kind of fresh for the city of Wildwood. Down here, so here's the downtown area right here. This, when I'm outlining right here, was the original Wildwood, and that was all it was just this area right here. And from 2005, annexation started up north and then continued down south. So in 2015, this map ends right here, and all of this was just unincorporated Sumter County down here. So from 2015 forward, all of this, and this is about 13,000 acres right here, has been annexed into the city of Wildwood by the villages. So you can see that right there. Annexation from 2005 to 2019 was 36,609.44 acres. And of that, the villages annexed 14,877.6 acres from 2015 to 2019. So, let's speak a little bit about the villages, because they're a huge economic driver in our community and in Sumter County. So, within the city of Wildwood, we just had the villages, the multimodal golf cart path placed on the abutments over State Road 44 within the city limits. And then there would be another one placed over the turnpike right before the Wildwood exit, right after the Oklahoma Service Plaza, in between the Oklahoma Service Plaza and the city of Wildwood exit. Can everyone still hear me okay?
Only if you speak into the mic.
Okay. Yeah.
Anytime you turn your head, we lose you.
Maybe I should do this. Hold on. Okay. All right. So the village has grown. I want to talk a little bit about some things that are economic drivers and what's caused this increase in development due to the ancillary uses that are needed for the support of the village's service industry and the rooftops and your entitlements they have. So the village has grown something that's neat that I want to talk about. They have, so about a year ago, I worked on the project and staff supported and took to commission a 45-acre greenhouse distribution plant that was, it's called the Grown, and it is, they make make the vegetables they grow the vegetables on site, through innovative technological advances where they're growing them organically. They're looking at the most nutrient vegetables, and what they're doing is they're growing them to source them locally. So they're growing them for the villages, but not just the villages. Also, Wildwood and Sumter County benefiting from it as well. So what they also have is they have these little food trucks that also go out around the villages and then come to Wildwood as well and sell the vegetables. And in our local town center, the village's town center that's located in the city of Wildwood, there is a store now that's called The Grown. It just opened a few weeks ago, a few months ago, excuse me. And it's selling the produce, and which is also available to the city of Wildwood residents as well, not just the villagers. So this is really, really cool to have this and to have this opportunity for what would not have otherwise been available to the city of Wildwood residents or Sumter County residents who are locals. It's now available to them due to this, the villages coming in and being able to do all of this. So here's a kind of an aerial, and this is some of our big projects we have going on in the city. This right here is the Brownwood Hotel and Spa. This is the tallest building in Wildwood. It's 6 stories. We have Publix at Traverse. We actually have three Publixes coming in the city of Wildwood right now. This is one of the other ones, so there's actually going to be 4. Brownwood Center is a town center, just like Lake Sumter Landing or Spanish Springs. This was just located within the city of Wildwood. And the other things. The connectivity bridge is right there, the one you see right here. It's right there that goes over 44. And then this is an aerial of Brownwood. So currently right now they have 36,455 single-family dwelling units entitled. Right now they've built about 4,000 of them. So we still have a long ways to go. So with this development, the village is coming in, it has spurred a need for mixed-use developments that are not the villages, that are supporting the service industry and some of the village residents as well. So these 2 particular properties abut each other. They're right next to each other. One's a 158 acre mixed-use development. The other one's a 165 mixed-use development. Both having over 500,000 square foot of commercial space. So Trailwinds right here is almost built out. A Publix is coming in right here. Freestanding emergency room we have here. We actually have 2 freestanding emergency rooms in the city right now that have come in since I've been there. So Beaumont has just now been platted. So their mixed-use commercial component is right here along the front. The only thing that we have that's come in for that right now is the Beaumont Hotel to Suites. It's by Hilton, and it's come in. We've had I've met with quite a few different developers who are interested in these out parcels in the front. Some interesting ideas that they're proposing to bring in, potentially some apartments right here. This is going to be D.R. Horton Homes. There's going to be 239 single-family dwellings, and then there's some townhouses here. This right here in the back of Trailwinds development is called the Wilds. It's more of an upscale apartment complex with concierge service and some garages for parking. And this is for the service industry, people who work for the villages or who work in the town centers. This is housing for them that they may not be able to find because of the age-restricted areas for the villages. So here's some new and upcoming businesses that have been in the city just since I've been here. So we have, of course, you can see Taco Bell, Lowe's, Remax, Wendy's. Ocala Health is the freestanding emergency room. We have one Wawa. We have another one that has applied for a land use change in a rezone. So they're coming into another location that was just on the map for the Beaumont property I just showed you. Let's see. So let me talk a little bit about downtown. I think it's really important as planners to preserve the historic character of a city regardless of how large the development is that's coming around it. And so one of the things that I've been working on the most while I've been at the city of Wildwood is working with the downtown local business owners, because we have a really neat downtown. Here's downtown in the 1950s. Here's currently our city hall. So since I've been there, we've been able to put some signs up with CRA monies that kind of delineate where the downtown historic district starts. And also with the CRA monies, we've been able to do some road improvements, upgrades to help make the street look nice. And what that's done is that's spurred some of these corridors along the downtown area to start redeveloping and retrofitting some of these older homes. And they're turning them into antique shops, coffee shops. It's really neat. This one's directly across the street from Wildwood City Hall. It's Roosters. It's a coffee shop and an antique store. Russell Stover Candy is located in downtown, well, kind of in downtown Wildwood. It's not too far away, but it's a staple of our community. Across the street, we have a small cotillion cafe, and then this right here, this was a really, really neat thing that I got to help do, and this was our first public art mural in the city. This is Sandy Sweeney. She's the owner of Guild of Matildas, which is a kind of like a where you go and paint and have wine, and a lot of the villagers come to our downtown area because of these types of businesses. And she proposed that she wanted to paint on a part of the building that was falling apart, something that had to do with our historical characters. So we went through a couple of designs that she proposed to us, and this one we approved, which was kind of going back to our history and our roots, is the train. And so that's her and I standing out there in front of her business, celebrating that she got it done. Because she had been working for a year with us to try to get this done. So next thing is our downtown. Make sure I didn't skip anything. There's so much going on in Wildwood, Sumter County. This is a picture of the old Amtrak station. It's no longer there. Amtrak doesn't run on those rails through Wildwood anymore. But it is still there, and we're trying to look at ways that we can preserve that old rail station. So something I've been working on the last year in Wildwood is the Complete Streets Initiative. This should also help to spur economic development within our downtown district and bring potentially some of the villagers over into downtown, and use for the local residents as well. So currently right now, our study area is from C44A to about, it's called Oxford Street, and we're looking at that area to either take the bike lanes off, basically a typical Complete Streets initiative. So right now we're in this portion of it right here, where we have gone through all of the phases. We had our walking audit with local middle and high school students, which was interesting. They came back and gave us a lot of feedback from their perspective, because they're the ones who have to cross that road every day to go to school. And so there's some issues with truck traffic and things like that, because US 301 is a truck route, and it runs right through the middle of our city. And so here is our project advisory group meeting, and then here is our public meeting that we had for the general public to come in and discuss some of the concept designs. And then so the next phase is another community advisory meeting, and then we're going to take our final plan to commission to present it to them. And I believe that's all I have. So, do you have any questions?
Questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What effect do you see the proposed north-south roads coming up in your area on the west coast do with your city?
You're talking about the M-Course?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a good question. We've been discussing this because the Northern Turnpike connector, we think will have a huge impact on the Wildwood exit there, and it's something that we just went to the meeting a couple of weeks ago. So this is something we're still kind of discussing on how this might impact us. But we think that it's going to be a huge economic driver. We need to look at some area plans along the corridor to see if we can kind of set up some incentives for developers to come in. But in terms of what we think it's going to do, it's going to bring more traffic through the area, which will continue to spur economic development. Am I answering your question, or is that?
No, that's fine, thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Moore.
You actually got two different areas. One is Royal, the area up on your north.
Sure.
Did Wildwood actually annex that? Or
No, we have not, no.
Okay, because I was going to say that's an area that definitely needs some economic development, so I was going to see, but if it's not Wildwood.
It's not. It is in our joint planning area agreement. That's something I didn't mention. So our joint planning area agreement with Sumter County, so it expands and includes the area of Royale. And so we have annexed in a vast majority of Oxford. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
And that's further north than Royale.
Right.
But it's voluntary annexation, So as they come in the joint planning area agreement and wish to develop and utilities are available, we do require them to annex into the city. But we don't, force them. So it's developer driven.
Okay, so is that area just needing some economic?
It does.
Yeah, the other would be Adamsville with an historic flavor, since that was the original county seat of Sumter County.
Sure.
Has that been annexed to, or?
So there are some parcels along Warm Springs 468, which runs right through the middle of Adamsville, right along where the Adamsville Cemetery is and the old historic church that's there. We have started to, because water just became available along there, and sewer is being extended by one of the developers via a pioneer agreement. So we are starting to annex those parcels in.
Okay, is there anything done to try and preserve the history of Adamsville? Because, it was the county seat originally.
It was,
Sumter
correct.
County, and it's also got, that church has tons of history there.
Yeah, so I've
Yeah.
I was saying the cemetery as well.
Did it?
It became a historic site, so not too much would happen in that area, but absolutely.
Right, because, I'm on the 14 Heritage Association, and basically, history's something I love, and it's like, so I'm one of the ones that'll stop off at the cemetery when I drive through Adamsville,
And also a little interesting fact, are you familiar with the actual spring that's in that area, which is not encompassed by Finney Springs, natural springs? There's a few in Wildwood, but one of the, I guess, our saving grace and part of our ordinance, that they had to preserve that spring. And they did a great job by actually encompassing a boardwalk where you can walk around and enjoy the spring. So we're happy with that.
Yeah, I've actually been working with, and Commissioner Green is correct, that the cemetery and the church have been preserved. They're not going to be touched. It's going to remain there as it is. The owners of the church have come into the Development Services Department and met with myself and the director and some of the other staff, and we discussed with it because they were concerned that that it wasn't being noticed that it was an historic, that was the first settlement in Sumter County was Adamsville. So we are looking to see how we can, and we're going to take this to commission eventually, and looking how I can see to maybe put some type of historical marker there for something that, allows people to know that this is a historic site and make it maybe a destination point, like you're saying, you stop by there. It is neat, and I've stopped by there myself. I'm one of those people who likes to look at old graves and the dates and the names, and sometimes it says how they died. It's just interesting to see all that stuff and the historical factor of the community that's there, and then what's around it now and what was there, so.
And if I may, always look at Wildwood and have strengths and weaknesses. And one of our major strengths is our location. We have 75, Turnpike, 301, 44, all these major roads that intersect through there. And technically, the belly button of the state. So with that said, there are also weaknesses. And you've heard a lot of us talk about it, the lack of affordable housing. Our area, even though our median income as a resident is approximately $42,000, you said 30 now, but it's about 42. But prior to that, if you go back to maybe 2000, it's actually maybe 26,000. So what has happened as our village residents come in with these large portfolios is raising our income and our property, but yet our core Wildwoodians are not seeing that economic growth. So it's causing the housing to rise, rental rising, but their income is not rising. So we're trying to figure out different ways how to address that.
An issue that's common everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Commissioner Green, thank you very much. Wildwood is a beautiful city, and really appreciate you taking time to share all this with us today. Thank you for the great work. And the Village has Grown is a really cool thing. I encourage everybody to check that out on your own time. Yeah, so thank you very much. Excellent. All right, we're going to move on.